Hi Karel, really well done for submitting this work and the essay on international marketing and then the piece on the statistical diagram as well. Very well done. These are great steps towards improving your English, and what we'll do is we'll have a look at your writing and see if there's any areas that we can improve on there. Okay, so the first part that you had was international marketing is sometimes seen as invasive and an intrusion into the country in question. Others argue that it is a necessary and economical form of education in addition to spreading ideas, language and culture. Discuss both views and then give your opinion. Okay, good. So I see at the top here that you have done a plan, which is good. It's a really good skill to have, especially when you're writing under pressure, because even just taking a couple of minutes to think about what you're going to write is beneficial for you when you're under a lot of stress and writing. It can be helpful just to have a look back at your plan and remember what your key points were. Also, it can keep you on track as well. Okay, so a great skill to have, so keep on with that one. Let's have a look at your writing then. So, there is no doubt that international marketing plays an important role in the world. However, some people believe that it brings certain negatives within, whereas others feel that the outcome is predominantly positive. In this essay, I will explain why I believe that there is a piece of truth on both sides. Okay then, so let's have a look more closely. What I would say first of all is that you've got some odd spacing for your introduction, and this should be one continuous paragraph. So just one thing to remember about the format of the paragraph: it should all be one paragraph without having spaces like this long space after brings, because it's all one sentence. Okay. So there is no doubt that international marketing plays an important role in the world. Okay, so we need the word "an" in here, an important role in the world. However, some people believe that it brings certain negatives, whereas others feel that the outcome is predominantly positive. Okay, so we don't need the comma here, and we can take out within as well. Okay, so generally speaking about those first two sentences, I would say that they do outline what the question is about, but at the same time they are very generalized. Okay, so we say that marketing plays an important role in the world, but we haven't mentioned how. And then we've said that some people believe it is negative and some people believe it is positive. I would go into a little bit more detail here. These are, as we said, very generalized sentences, and because the word limit in the IELTS is quite low and the time limit is not very long either, I would say be a little bit careful with generalized sentences, because we often find that when we use general sentences, our essay becomes much longer because we find we have to describe things that we've generalized at the beginning of the essay. Okay, so one technique for this is to, in your introduction, to go straight in with your main points. So saying something like, some people believe that international marketing is invasive, so like in the question, or you could use a synonym for invasive or something like damaging. Okay, whereas others see positives in introducing new cultures, different ways of educating, etc. So we're saying essentially the same thing, but we're just being a little bit more specific. Okay. What we want to think about with our opening sentences is, what do they add to the essay? Okay, what they should do is to kind of create an overview of what the question is about. But if they're very, very general, they don't really tell us what the question is about. Okay, so it's important to be a bit more specific there. In this essay, I will explain why I believe that there is a piece of truth on both sides. Okay, Good, well done. So you're going to show that your opinion is kind of divided on this. What I would say is that in the question it says to discuss both views. So I would make that really clear when you're outlining what you're going to do. So in this essay, I would say I will explore both sides and then explain why I believe that there is truth in both. Okay. Okay. So let's have a look at your paragraph on the negatives. So to begin with negatives, it is true that international commercial could be seen as invasive. I would say here international advertising, okay, could be seen as invasive. This is because they want to promote their product. They want to promote their products at any cost. For example, Coca-Cola with their advertisements playing on the TV every minute. Okay. Furthermore, their methods are sometimes far more efficient due to their large capital, which can buy competitors and consequently create monopoly. Okay. As a result, local entrepreneurs can experience harsh time in their business. Okay, so good. So we've got Coca-Cola advertisements playing on the TV. Instead of every minute, I would say very often. Okay, and then furthermore, their methods are sometimes far more efficient due to their large capital, which can buy competitors and consequently create monopoly with a Y at the end. Okay, what I would say here, which can buy competitors. What do you mean by buy competitors? Do you mean to buy out competitors so they can buy competing companies? And what I would say instead of consequently create monopoly is to dominate the market. Okay, that way, because you've used the word invasive, to dominate the market also suggests that it's an invasive part of this. But yeah, good. As a result, local entrepreneurs can experience harsh time in their business. Okay, so you've got some good points here. What I would say is that to finish this paragraph, you need something that links all of this together. Okay, so almost like a conclusion to your paragraph in a way. So in paragraphs we take 3 steps. The first one is to outline our points, the second one is to give evidence, and the third one is to round off the paragraph. Okay, so when you've said as a result local entrepreneurs can experience harsh time in their business, I would say difficulty in their business, and then a rounding off sentence could be this shows that international marketing has widespread negative impacts on other countries. Okay, so you're just concluding that paragraph. Okay, so there's that one. Okay, the next one, that said, international marketing is without a doubt the best medium for distributing fresh ideas. Okay, good, interesting choice of words there, well done. This is because it has the power to reach everyone. If the ideas are trying to celebrate the freedom of every human being, that can have beneficial effect on people living under dictatorship. Subsequently, these ideas can lead to uprising. In addition, adverts can raise an interest in foreign language or culture and enrich the nation in question. Moreover, songs sung or landscapes depicted in adverts, ADVERTS, can give a general impression about the country of origin. Okay, so 2 points here. One of those is the introduction of foreign language and culture. The other one is celebrating freedom and the impact on people living under dictatorship. Okay, now this one is a point that I don't think I've seen in one of these essays before. What I would say is if you're making a very strong point like this, you need to have some evidence to back it up. So is there any evidence you know of that proves this? Or can we not prove this? Is it a generalization? Okay, so be careful. If you state something like this, we need to be able to back it up with pertinent examples. Okay, in addition, adverbs can raise an interest in foreign language or culture. So again, we've got here a good point, so definitely the foreign language and culture element, but we need an example to back it up there. Okay, and again at the end of this paragraph we need a rounding off sentence like we said for the paragraph above, just to, so the third step of that paragraph, to conclude and show how it relates back to the question. Alright, okay then. In terms of the format of your writing, be careful here as well with the spaces, like in your introduction. So your paragraphs are looking a little bit fractured because we've got large spaces where there is no writing, and then we're continuing on the next line, so be careful not to do that. Okay, so in conclusion, although international marketing is using certain methods which can be considered as invasive, such as frequent advertisements or creating a monopoly or dominating the market, it is also important to highlight the good outcomes such as liberal ideas and enriching local culture. Okay, I would take out this part here because that bit's not necessary, so full stop there. Now, what you do need to do, and it's missing in your conclusion, is give your opinion. Okay, and that's very important because it's specifically asked for in the question. So you need to finish your conclusion by giving your own opinion. So, in my opinion, advertising is negative because, or in my opinion, there are more positives than negatives because it helps people to study and it gives an opportunity to see new cultures, etc. Okay, so it needs to have your opinion at the end as well. Okay, but a good first piece of writing. Let's have a look at your analysis of the diagram as well. So we'll just go on to that one. So this is your analysis of the statistics for people who prefer eggs or bacon for breakfast in Manchester in 2017. So this graph shows the number of people who prefer eggs or bacon for breakfast in Manchester in 2017. Good. Overall, what stands out from the graph is that whereas bacon was far more popular in January and eggs were preferable in July, throughout the year, no comma there, the differences have been only marginal. Okay, yeah, interesting point there. Good, okay, looking at the information there, so we said January, yep, it's a big difference in January. July, big difference. There are a couple of other months where there's quite a big difference, so May, June, August. So I would be careful with this, saying that they have only been marginal. Okay, we could say throughout the year the differences are often marginal, such as March, February, April, etc. So we could say that, but it would be wrong to say that the differences have only been marginal throughout the whole year. Okay, to begin with the first half of the year, figures for eggs were only 1/5 of those of bacon in January. The former then soared to 90. So be careful with this. 90 what? 90 people, 90%, etc. Okay, so we need to state what there. And later dropped to 100 in February. After then, they both were levelling off till June, finishing the period at 120 for eggs and 80 for bacon. Okay. Okay. However, the second half of the year started with with the reverse. Okay, second half of the year started with reverse situation in contrast with January. Okay, started with the reverse of the situation in January. Whereas bacon accounted for 30, the large numbers of eggs were significantly higher, 120, during the following month. Bacon jumped to 140 and eggs fell, F-E-L-L, sharply to 70. After that, they both fluctuated till the end of the year with similar ending figures, 100 for bacon and 110 for eggs. Okay, good. Now, this part where we've got 1/5 as a fraction, I would write that in numbers just to be consistent with the rest of the numbers that you've used throughout your writing. Okay, and of course mentioning what these numbers actually refer to. So 100 what? 100 people, or 100 percent, etc. Okay, so using whatever, explaining what those numbers are, so that they're not meaningless there. But yes, a good piece of writing, good analysis, particularly where you are comparing and using a lot of good language like marginal. You had another one where it was leveling off is good. The reverse situation, and fluctuated. These are all great examples of vocabulary. So well done, good piece of work there.